Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem. Tonight we'll be doing another class in our series of classes on Scorpio rising and Leo in the different signs. And Mars in the different signs. Tonight we'll be doing Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo is an interesting combination, a strong combination with a Scorpio rising, because with a Scorpio rising, Mars and Leo for the most part falls in the 10th house, the career. And you have to know, the Scorpion, you always want to know, if you want to know which house a sign fulfills itself, and which sign a sign fulfills itself, you look at 10 houses away from that sign. And a Scorpio, 10 houses away from a Scorpio, is a Leo. The Leo wants to be, so the Scorpio, really his goal in life, he starts off as he's the advisor, and then he wants to become the leader. Right? The Scorpio always has a tremendous desire to become a leader, to become respected, to be honored, and to have people follow his commands, or her. There are women leaders also who we'll do some of their charts later on. And tonight, let's just say that when you have a Scorpio by nature, even before you look at where the planets fall, just by seeing that they have Leo on the 10th house cusp, you have an idea that that's their goal in life. Their goal in life is to be a leader, to be respected, to be honored, to be the center of attention, and to have everybody, and to have people follow them. You can't be a leader without followers. Well, it says in the Torah, it says you can't. There's no king without a people. You can't be a king unto yourself. You need to have servants. You need to have people listen to you. And so that's the Mars in Leo. The Mars in Leo wants to be a leader, and so, just a Scorpio rising wants to be, just a Scorpio rising by its very nature wants to be a leader. And now when you come and take the ruling planet Mars, and put the ruling planet Mars also in the 10th house, so you're going to see a tremendous, that's going to increase the desire for leadership and things like that many, many times. It's going to have a multiplying effect on the person. I've known lots of people in my time that have Mars and Leo. We'll talk about one or two tonight. But they all have the same idea that whatever field they're in, they want to be a leader in that field, and they want to have people under them. I remember, I don't have this chart, but I remember one of the first teachers I had in Kabbalah, he was a Martian rising, and he has Mars in Leo. Very interesting chart. He actually has Mars in Leo, Saturn in Leo, Pluto in Leo, all in the 10th house. And he became the head of the yeshiva at a very young age. He started his family, he came from a very famous religious family, and he started yeshiva at a very early age, maybe 27, 28, he started a yeshiva, and he's been the head of the yeshiva, for 40 years, training students and making disciples, and students, and had a big influence on the Kabbalah world, actually, over the last 40 years, because he made so many students. He was involved heavily in the revival of Kabbalah. 40 years ago, there was no Kabbalah almost in the world. And he was one of the people who helped revive it. At a later point, maybe we're going to talk about his chart when we get into talking about Saturn-Pluto conjunctions. I want to bring down his chart and delve into it more. But now, also a lot of people have it. The present Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, he's also. People have different birthdays for him, but I got his birthday actually from his wife by way of a friend of hers many years ago, and she got it actually from the Prime Minister's mother. And so I think it's pretty accurate, and I think it signifies him more than some of the other charts running around. And in that he's also a Scorpio with Mars and Leo. So again, the desire for power and leadership, you see it there, the great political running after the politics. So you see that in his running after the leadership. Right? Unfortunately, he's also got 4 planets in Libra in the 12th house. He's got lots and lots of enemies. But in any case, that's also, I think I already have done his chart somewhere on, if you look at my database, in my library, you'll find where I talk about the charts of a lot of the former prime ministers of Israel, and he's there. But you can go on and on, the list on and on of people with this combination. Tonight I want to do one of the most celebrated people with this combination, most famous people. He was actually the Prime Minister of England at one time. He was the only Jewish Prime Minister of England. Right? Remember, we have a rule that the Jews can get everywhere except to be the top of the country. That's what Pharaoh said. You'll just be number 2 under me, he said to Joseph. And right, we see that of all the people, really the Jews, even though you look in America, the Jews are everywhere, except they're not number 1. They never had a Jewish president, and they probably never will be because of that rule. The one exception to the rule is Mr. Disraeli, and I'll tell you why he's an exception to the rule. Is because even though his parents are 100% 100% Jewish, from what I heard, his father got into a fight with the head of his synagogue, and he broke, and because of that fight, he left the synagogue and he joined the Anglican Church. Had his son, Mr. Disraeli, baptized, and he became an Anglican. So you see, he was the head of the country, and he was Jewish, but he wasn't really Jewish because he converted. In Jewish law, a Jew is always a Jew, but the Catholics, I guess, considered him an Anglican. Even though if you look at his picture, he looks like really, really very Jewish. But in any case, Mr. Disraeli, he has a beautiful chart, very interesting chart. Alright, he's got Scorpio on the ascendant. Mars there, it's in the because it's in England, which is very north, it's a little distorted. It's in the 9th, but it's really working for the 10th because Leo has 10 signs from the ascendant. And so he had also an interest in philosophy, religion, things like that. Law, he was originally trained as a lawyer, but he turned away from that. All the 9th house significations. He also had the moon there in the 9th house. In connection with higher knowledge and things like that. And so you see that in his chart. In his chart, he had 2 beautiful planets on the ascendant. He's got Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter and Venus, the 2 benefics on the ascendant, together with Neptune. So he was also a writer. He was a very popular writer of his time, right? The Venus-Neptune conjunction on his ascendant. He was known for having affairs. Affairs got him into trouble with that Moon-Neptune conjunction, right? It caused him a lot of trouble. He originally had an affair with a married woman. I don't remember all these stories. I was just reading up a little on him. They had a lot of scandals, romantic scandals. He married a woman for her money eventually. He married a woman who was very wealthy, and then later on he said, I originally married her for her money, but now if I married her again, I would marry her for who she is. But in any case, he was, whenever Neptune is around the ascendant, there's a tendency, and he has exactly on the ascendant, is a tendency for scandals, and also for a person thinks very highly of themselves. They have wherever Neptune is in the chart, you overemphasize the importance of that place. And so he overemphasized his own importance, but I guess that got him very high, right? I think he was the one who said, Disraeli was the one who said, you should have high and lofty thoughts because you only get as far as your thoughts take you. And that's the Neptune on the ascendant. talking, and plus he had the 2 good planets, and it gave him divine protection to a certain degree. He became the prime minister, but he was, unfortunately, he came from a family that converted. It was a very, very sad thing. But in any case, so that's Mr. Disraeli. There's not that much. There's a lot to talk about actually in this chart, but that's what sticks out, right? You see the Mars there, and the people who have Scorpio with Mars and Leo. They have this desire for leadership. I've seen it so many times, and I thank everybody for listening.